I have been waiting so long to test this right here. Ballistic Dummy Labs head versus a high lift jack in slow motion. How dangerous is it? Welcome back to another episode. Today we are taking a look at the high lift jack. These have been around since 1905 and they're a pretty useful tool if you use them correctly. Now, if they are used incorrectly, they have a reputation of seriously harming you or unaliving you. So, to figure out just how dangerous they are today, we're going to be using a Ballistic Dummy Labs hand, which we're going to stick in between the main post and the handle to see if it can actually break your hand if you slip when lowering a vehicle. And on top of that, we have a Ballistic Dummy Labs head, which we are going to see if it can break your jaw and your teeth, and also if it can actually fracture your skull, leading to a shortened wheeling trip or life. It's gonna be good. Now, before we get into all the fun today with this high lift jack, I do have to thank the channel's largest sponsor, which is Onyx Off-Road. Now, if you're a hardcore overlander and you're going out for weeks at a time exploring on trips, or you're just a weekend warrior and you're looking to get away for the weekend, I highly recommend you check out Onyx Off-Road for all of your mapping needs. Honestly, I'd be using them no matter what. The software is fantastic. You can draw out your routes, you can even put waypoints and mark them with exactly what that destination is throughout the trip. So you know what's coming up on your adventure, and you can share those files with anyone else that's coming with you, so you can be well planned and prepared for your next adventure. So if you're interested in trying out Onyx Off-Road today, use code GETLOST at checkout and save yourself 20% on your first Onyx Elite membership. And thank you, Onyx, for sponsoring this channel. So if you use high lift jacks in the past, or you're unfamiliar with them, the way that they work is you have this beam that runs up with all these holes put in it, and on the lifting mechanism there's actually two pins that will slowly walk up the beam when you pull the lever up to engage it, and every single time that you pull the handle down, you're increasingly adding more potential energy to this handle as more weight is pushing down on the lifting mechanism. And the dangerous part about the high lift jack is if you're raising it or lowering it and you slip by accident, there's a potential that the handle flies up and actually strikes you in the side of the head. And I will demonstrate right now the potential energy that is in this handle. If I strike the mechanism here to begin lowering, when I bring down the jack, you'll hear that click right there. And that means I now have the weight of the vehicle in this handle. And if my head were to be in the way and I slipped, you can see there's a lot of energy that's stored there. And that's what we're gonna figure out today, how lethal it is. So our first test today is gonna be the Ballistic Dummy Labs hand. I got it duct taped on here, kind of in a way if you were leaning on the post where you shouldn't be, and it's gonna strike the handle right about here. So I suspect it's gonna break the hand. Let me know in the comments below what you think this is gonna do. But I don't think you'd be having a functioning hand after this. I think you'd be ending your trip and going to the hospital. Let's see what happens. All right, how to completely annihilate your hand with a high lift jack. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so taking a look at the hand here, you would definitely be ending your wheeling trip. I'll get some of this tape out of the way here so you can actually see. But if you actually look closely, it actually broke the bone right down here in the base of your hand at the end of your pinky. And it also broke the ring finger right there. And it shredded the skin on top of the knuckle and broke it open and actually busted open the flesh right there all along the pinky. So your whole bone would be pretty much exposed and broken. And you'd just honestly be having a very, very rough day. Oh, and the hand actually sitting on the jack handle on the corner, it actually busted open the flesh on the side of the hand. So it actually busted right through that entire chunk of skin on the edge of your hand here. So you'd be honestly having an extremely rough day. That's pretty gruesome. Don't put your hand in front of a high lift jack. It's gonna be rough. All right, who's ready to see the head? That's the one I think everyone's waiting for. All right, so to actually try and film the head properly and get it in a real life kind of height, I built this wooden stand where the head's gonna slip onto this coupling here. And it's gonna sit, the head right around 6 feet tall. So it's gonna be a realistic height, and it's gonna be on an angle as if you were looking down at the jack, which you're probably gonna be if your head is in between the handle. So it's gonna be as close as I can get it to having the resistance of a human body if you get hit, and also being at the right angle and height. So first off, we're gonna test how lethal it is if you get hit in the side of the face. It's gonna knock out teeth and break your jaw, which there's lots of stories about happening. We're just gonna capture it in some ultra high speed. All right, I got the jack set up where it's gonna contact his teeth and his jaw perfectly. I think he's even missing a few teeth at the end of this. This one's gonna be pretty violent, I think. I have been waiting so long to test this right here. Ballistic Dummy Lab's head versus a high lift jack in slow motion. How dangerous is it? Okay, high lift jack to the side of the jaw and the teeth. In 3, 2, 1. All right, so taking a look at this impact here, you can see that the cheekbone is most definitely broken, and there's a decent sized gash to the cheek here. Now, I don't think that would have actually killed you. I think you'd have a pretty swollen up face, and you would definitely have learned a lesson about what not to do with a high lift jack. But next up, we're gonna test out an impact to the side of the head. And I'm pretty sure if that is to fracture the skull, I'm no doctor, but I don't think you're gonna be ever using a high lift jack again or doing basically anything else ever again. So we're gonna figure that out right now. All right, so while I'm actually raising this jack back up to do the final impact, I would greatly appreciate it if you could tap that subscribe button down below. It lets the algorithm know that this is a good video and it should be watched. So if you feel that way, follow along, stay up to date on all the new content, and I thank you if you do subscribe. Greatly helps grow the channel. All right, so this next test, the head is just pointed slightly away. It's gonna be a back impact. So it'd be as if you were looking at the lifting mechanism while you're running the handle and you slipped and it struck the back of your head. So see what happens here. All right, this is high lift jack to the back of the head in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you got yourself a nice big huge gash on the back of your head. But actually, even here, did not fracture the skull. You could possibly have internal brain bleeding, but you're not spilling anything, which is a good thing. There's a chance of survival here. And I'll do one more right on the side of the head now, and see if it just cuts the skin again. I'm starting to think it will. I'm sensing a pattern here. The human head is very strong. All right, so for the very final test, this one's gonna be right behind the ear, right on the side of the head, and I've also shifted it to sit a little bit higher up so the handle has more travel time and can gain a little bit more speed. This is worst case scenario right here. All right, high lift jack, right to the side of the head, in 3, 2, 1. Well, that final blow to the side of the head only further fractured the cheekbone, but the skull has remained intact. You're definitely gonna have some deep gouges on the side of your head. You're gonna need stitches, and it might break a couple of the smaller bones that make up the structure of your face. But there's a chance you live. There's also a chance that there'd be more damage than what we could actually see in this video. I'd love to hear your stories down in the comments below of your maybe mishaps with a high lift jack, near misses, or maybe stories that you've heard of how dangerous these jacks can be. And I must say, this hand definitely got destroyed. So always practice safety precautions when using a high lift jack, because you might end up like this guy. We'll see you in the next video. Really quick before you go, I just want to show you the new Jack Reaper limited edition merch run I'm doing. We have statistically unsafe since 1905 on the back, and on the front we have Let's Get Lost Field Research Division, just rebranded the logo a little bit. These are available until November 18th. The first 75 orders can get 20% off of their order. I'll have a link down in the pinned comment where you can check it out. Thanks.